be live. I hope we're live. Okay, anybody can see a tester to give us to make sure we're live. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Are we live?
I can see it.
If we're live, hello. Thank you so much for joining us today. See if you all pull us up. Can you see us? Okay, let's see. We want to make sure we're live. We were having technical issues, you all. We apologize for being tardy. We were very on time to do this, but we just had a lot of technical issues, and we're just trying to make sure.
Don't send us to the principal's office.
Right, please don't, please don't. Okay, so it looks like we are live. Let's see. Let's just make sure. Okay, we're live. Wonderful. Okay. Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us. Once again, we do apologize for our little technical issues that we're having, but we are excited, and we know that we're going to be sharing some things that are going to be very encouraging for you today. Just please bear with us as we get through these little hiccups. Okay. There you go. Okay. I am Miss Magnolia, but you can call me Miss Nolia, and I am so excited to be here with you today, and I have a very special guest with us. We are here for a special time during this special discussion panel. And let me just back up and tell you a little bit about Blossoming Word. Blossoming Word is all about sharing good news to help us to learn and grow in a very special way. And I believe the information that will be shared today is going to do just that, help us to continue to learn and to grow in a strong and healthy way. So I just want to go ahead and begin to introduce our special guest that we have here today. And I have my notes here because I did not want to mess up with their introductions, and that's very important to me, and I'm so excited that they are here. So let me just start with Aven Harrison, who is here to my right and maybe to your left. Aven is currently the second grade team lead at Aven Elementary School. She has 13 years of experience as an educator. She operates SOAR Literacy Services, which is a tutoring service that provides tools for young children from kindergarten to second grade. SOAR also provides workshops for parents. She has a bachelor's of science in psychology and an elementary education. As a teacher, she is certified through iTech Louisiana. She is also very passionate about literacy and equipping children to soar above every challenge. And to my left and to your right, I have none other than Angella Wynn, and she's the CEO of Books to Win. She's also a highly accomplished life coach, ghostwriter, and author. She's the author of Fix My Smile, Dealing with Bullying, and this is one of her many books that she has. It's on the best-selling book line, and she has a powerful memoir that expresses her personal journey of overcoming adversity, finding strength and resilience in facing life's challenges. Through her candid storytelling, she has relatable experiences, and Angella offers hope and inspiration to readers who may be facing their own struggles. Okay, so I am so excited once again to continue to share that she also has books that not only entertain, but inspire and empower readers to embrace their own stories and find the strength to overcome life obstacles. So if you're there, without further ado, let's just give our special guest a hand. So once again, we're going to go ahead and let's talk today, okay? We're ready to just talk, right, ladies?
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to start off with Angella Wynn, that's going to be sharing on the topic of bullying, which is a very, very huge concern in the lives of children. It's on the playground, it's on online, the cyberbullying, and so forth. But before she comes and shares with us today, we want to go ahead and share a video that she's given to us that we would like to go ahead and just take a look at. So let's take a look at this video right now. While she's getting that video ready, go ahead and tag some friends to tune in with us today. We want to talk to parents, grandparents, everyone that has a child that you're concerned about concerning bullying, maybe some reading issues, to get tips concerning literacy, developing self-esteem, and so forth.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we have a very special program this afternoon downstairs, beginning at 2 o'clock. The Baton Rouge Civic Orchestra is
I'm sorry,
presenting a Christmas
just a
program,
moment. We have an announcement coming
including
on over the
Sweet
speakers.
Carols,
We're here at the library, so just a moment.
the Hallelujah Chorus from the Messiah,
And sometimes you have a hard time stopping it from happening. Now, let's take a read in the book, Fix My Smile, How Ashton Overcame His Bullies.
Hello, I'm Ashton. I have a split lip. You know, I just want my smile fixed and not to be picked on. So, here's my story.
Hey doctor, can you fix my smile? My confidence has been low for a while. I want to go out and make new friends, but my smile is made hard for me, so please fix it. I go to school each and every day to learn something new and go out to play. I get hard standing kids cut their eyes, and my disfiguration, it makes me want to cry. The bullies come and make fun of me. Everybody stops and points laughing at me. But my teachers are very kind and sweet. They help me to be strong and are encouraging. Hey doctor, can you fix my smile? My confidence has been low for a while. I want to go out and make new friends, but my smile is made hard for me, so please fix it.
All right. Go ahead, Miss Angella Wynn, and share with us today.
Absolutely. Well, hello.
Let's use that microphone just to make sure they can hear us good.
Yes.
Let's see, is it on? Okay,
All right. We're not on.
it's not on. Okay, go ahead and talk and I'll fix it. Okay.
Yes, I am Angella Wynn. I'm trying to project to make sure everyone can hear me. I am your 7-time best-selling author, and yes, Fix My Smile is my very first book that I wrote, children's book, and it deals, as you just saw, with the topic of bullying, and we deal with that on a lot of platforms, right? Whether you're a child, whether you're an adult, we could deal with it. Deal with it as well in adulthood, on the job. I've even had some people to tell me that they experienced it in the church. So it's many different platforms where this could take place. But bullying is something that I've experienced in my life, even from a child on up to my teenage years to adulthood. You know, I've had experiences with it, and that's why it's special to me, because I know the damage that being bullied can cause to an individual. You know, it can mess with your psyche, it can mess with your mind, it messes with your self-esteem. It's a lot of areas that it could take, can have an effect on, right? So we want to be mindful of the words that we speak. I have another book that I wrote please be careful what you say. And it deals with the mouth, the tongue, and what you say. And I always tell people, we have a teacher here that's with us. I always tell people, be mindful of what you say and taste your words before you serve them to someone else. Because you don't know, our words carry weight. So things that you say, they take effect on other people, right? So you just want to be mindful of the words that you use, the tone that you use it in, because it plays a very important part. You don't want to say anything that will cause damage. Now, I know that they used to say, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. That is an untruth. I don't want to say the word that, that I want to say, but no, that's not true. Words do hurt. Words do cause damage. So we want to be mindful of the language that we use. A lot of times we can be saying the right thing, but we say it at the wrong time, right? It may be true what you're speaking, but if you say it at the wrong time, if you say it in the wrong tone, if you say it, in the wrong context, you can cause damage. So just be mindful of the words that you use, how you use them, and when you use them. But yes, Fix My Smile is a book that I wrote, and it deals with the subject of bullying. Please go on over to Amazon and you can type in my name, Angella Wynn. All of my books are there, and get your copy. Christmas is coming. The holidays this will make a great Christmas gift for the kids, right? But I want to talk to my teacher here, because she's in the classroom with our babies, and she has first-hand experience with what goes on in the class and what the kids may say. So we're just having a conversation, right? Let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about it.
Okay, before you do that, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Okay. So what would you recommend, Ms. Wynn, for a child that is experiencing bullying, but they don't want to tell anybody about it?
Absolutely. I would recommend that you find that one trusted person, whether it's a teacher, maybe a principal, a guidance counselor. It may even be a friend that you trust, right? And just share with them what's going on. And I'm going to say this to those other ones. You said that what should they do? Let me be the one to say, if you see something, say something. Because a lot of times the one that's being bullied, they may not be strong enough, per se, to come forth and say anything. But you as that friend or whatever, you can step up to the plate and talk for them. And I promise you, it will go a long way.
That's right. Thank you so much, Angella, for sharing that with us. And we want to also encourage even parents, because sometimes parents may feel a little lost about, what to do because their child is experiencing bullying. We would definitely say, and Aven, you can definitely piggyback on this being in the school system. I'm sure there's probably resources in the school system where parents can connect to someone. Can you tell us about that?
Okay. Yeah, there are several resources. One that I like, I actually made a quick little note. It's called Confident Parents, ConfidentKids.org. And so you can go there, and on there they have like specific articles that you can read. They also have tips. They have little scenarios that you can go through with your child, if you ever face this situation, which I always think is important, because then that gives your child something to like have in their mind, like, okay, if this happened, then I need to respond this way. So, and then there's also, most parents are familiar with your school's PTA, but there's also a national organization, PTA.org, that you can go to, and they have different little episodes that you can watch that will help you, as well. And then, of course, don't forget about your school's guidance counselor. Your guidance counselor is they are a huge, help in that area. And then, of course, educators. We're there to help. We're here to help our children, not only in the classroom, but I always say outside the classroom, too. So those are just some, right off the top of my head, a couple of resources that parents can use.
Those are some great resources, and parents, I hope that you're paying attention, because those are some really great resources. Thank you for sharing those with us, Aven. And I'm going to tell you, there are many things that lead to the issue of bullying with children, but I guarantee you that some of it is attached to academics. Definitely, I believe that some of it could be attached to academics, and even if a child may be struggling in school, there's that, cruelty out there, unfortunately, that happens not only for children, but for adults as well. So one of the things we definitely want to expound upon, and Aven will definitely be sharing concerning developing self-esteem for your children. But I wanted to take just a brief moment just to share a few tips. Some of these are inspired just from experience, and a lot of these are also inspired from a very good friend of mine, and her name is Shanoa Warren, and she is the chief of academics. And there were some things that she shared when she was interviewed last year with us, and I just wanted to remind us, as well as parents, of these things concerning literacy and how important they are. And so the first thing I want to say with that, and that is, you want to start reading to your child concerning literacy. You want to start reading to your child, mothers, even when you're pregnant. It's never too soon to start reading to your baby. And just the experience of reading to your child while you're pregnant allows that child to develop recognizing oral language, even from the womb. So that's so important. So I'm going to share about 10 tips right quick, okay? And then Aven is going to take us on an elevated place from the very beginning to the things starting from pre-K and on, because we definitely want our babies to excel in literacy and in education, okay? So that's the first thing. Start reading to your baby in the womb. The second thing, and you do that from the womb to the time that they're born. And after your child is born or you have given birth, continue to read. Continue to read to the baby, because just the sound of, the correct sound of words, those words will turn into, and I like what she said here. She said, this helps your child to hear those correct sounds. Those sounds turn into letters, and those letters turn into sight words, and those sight words turn into sentences and phrases, and then into paragraphs. And that's so awesome. So you see, it's building blocks. It's like a foundation from the womb until that time that you're doing that. And another tip is you can use expressions when you're reading to your baby. I'm a mother of 3 sons, and I am also a very animated person. So I didn't take and read, let's just say, what's the story, The 3 Little Pigs? I brought expression, animation, I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down when it was time for the wolf. Make those words come alive when you're having story time with your children, okay? Another tip was, as your child gets older, allow them to be a part of selecting those fun books that they enjoy. And you can even create their own library. And what I mean by that is just a box in the corner in their room with books in it, And there may be that one book that your child keep coming back to you to read over and over and over again. Let it happen. Indulge that baby to keep reading that same. If they are stuck on Fix My Smile and want you to read Fix My Smile every day, 20 times, that's right. Keep reading that book, because it's still developing a lot for that child, okay? It makes a difference. I'm sorry, you wanted to say something, Aven?
Oh, no, I was just saying, that just helps your child become fluent. The more they read and doing it consistently and daily.
Yes.
That helps. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have just a few more tips, and I'm going to pass this mic on over, okay? So, as you are reading verbally and orally to your child, it is actually a two-way street of benefits on that, okay? And these are the benefits. Did you know that when you read, it keeps your brain healthy? 2, it improves literacy and expands vocabulary and strengthens your writing ability. Just as Aven just said, I'm looking forward to what she's going to be sharing with us. 3, reading improves your sleep. Did you know reading improves your sleep? So your child is benefiting all of these things, but at the same time, you're improving your resting time.
Come on.
And reading reduces stress and helps you to relax. Okay? Reading also improves your concentration and your memory. How many of you have heard people say, Lord, I must be getting old, I forgot you. Reading improves your concentration and your memory. Reading also cultivates a lifelong love of reading. So the more you read, the more you'll enjoy reading. Reading is a preparation for academic success and increased concentration and discipline. So these are a lot of benefits to reading. Reading also supports cognitive development, which we're going to be hearing about from Aven as well. And last but not least, reading also improves your language skills. It improves babies learning how to express themselves. So this is awesome. So I just wanted to share just briefly concerning early child development and the importance of verbal reading for your child and for you. So without further ado, I'm going to allow Aven to go ahead and share with us how to develop confidence in your child and so much more. I'm so excited to have both of these ladies here with us today. Go ahead and take us on a higher level. So, you know what? SOAR in literacy is the correct name for her, because she's about to take everything that we've shared just now and we're going to soar higher in it, okay? One moment, please.
I love it. And for those who don't know, SOAR actually stands for Students Overcoming Adversities in Reading.
All right.
The acronym.
Say that again. What is SOAR for?
Students Overcoming Adversities in Reading.
Yes.
So that's what SOAR is all about. It's all about, helping children learn how to read, be successful, and to soar, really just to give them a foundation, a strong foundation for life. And so I'm honored to talk about developing children's self-esteem. And now my standpoint is going to be a little bit different. Just disclaimer, I don't have any children. However, I have 13 years as an educator, so I have seen a lot. Elementary, middle, and high school.
Wow.
So
and if I can just interrupt you for just a second, you're saying that you're not a mother, but you know what? The hours spent with all of these children every day for 13 years, you have mothered many children.
You got a whole
You're very qualified.
Amen. Thank you. All right. Well, I'm like a wordsmith, so I love to look up words like what do they actually mean. And so, as you are already aware, my background is psychology, so I always go back to my psych background. And so, when I looked at the word self-confidence, and I began to research, and one definition really stood out to me. And so that one was that a confident child has a deep-seated belief in his or her own ability. And so when you think about that, think about a child that that's confident. That child literally owns the room. They walk in, they're confident, they don't need somebody to pat them on the back. They know what they're good at and they just flourish in it. And so when I think about children, especially today in our educational system, we have a lot of kids who are not confident. They're coming from various situations at home. Sometimes, like Ms. Wynn just talked about, being bullied. That really affects a child's self-esteem. And I like one of the things that one of my principals said is you look at a child like a bank. Mm-hmm. And so every morning, she likes for us to stand at the door. Now, you know how everybody knows, you're tired, you're ripping and running. You don't feel like standing by your door in the morning. But she said, you need to stand by your door because you may be the first smile that child sees. Mm-hmm. And when I thought about that, I said, oh goodness, this child coming from home, this child, may have gotten yelled at home. Maybe breakfast wasn't what they wanted to eat. They got on the bus, somebody messed with them on the bus, and then lo and behold, they come to you, but you're the first smile. You give them a hug like, hey, I'm so happy to see you. That just does something to that child. And I've heard over and over from students that they'll tell you, oh, I can't wait to get to your class with Harris. And I'm like, well, why? Because I always say I ain't nothing special. But my kids are like, they're excited to be there. And then I had to think about it, but look at the culture of your classroom. Yes. Look at what you created. They're excited. They want to be a part of that. Yes. And so I said that to say, instilling confidence in our children is extremely important. And so we already went over the definition. We understand what it is. That child feels good about themselves. I always tell them, it's standing up on the inside. You're proud. So, you know, they arch their back, they put their shoulders back, you know, they're ready. And so once they understand, you know, what it means to be self-confident, then, you know, we need to look at, okay, now it's time to develop this. And so, unfortunately, for some of our kids, like I just said, home life may not be the best, so they don't have that can-do attitude yet. But as a parent, as educators, you know, if you're a grandparent, auntie, whatever sphere you find yourself in, just remember, you have an influence over that child. That child is still looking to you to, hey, pat them on the back. Oh, you did a good job. You know, you like the book, fix your fix your smile. You know, like smile. So what? You might be missing a tooth. Still smile. You know, that says something, you know, about you as an individual. And so for our children, you know, I just really want us to remember that childhood is a wonderful time. Yes. You know, our kids, you know, they can explore different things. They can go out. They can do different things. You know, they can really use that time to find out what it is that they're good at. And so us, you know, as the adults, it's important for us to push our children, you know, encourage them, do the things that they're good at. Yeah, you know, they might fall, but teach them, you know, okay, making a mistake, that's okay. You know, you made a mistake today, guess what, tomorrow you might get
That's right.
Test.
That's right.
You know, whatever it is. And so just really encourage them, you know, push them, because my personal belief, and I've always said that people who know me, they know what I'm going to say. Y'all already know. But, you know, I believe that God has given every child a gift. Yes. And so it is that child's responsibility and the parent to steward that gift. Yes. That child is a gift to society. God has blessed them with something that nobody on earth can do. And so we as the adults have to make sure that we are stewarding our children in the correct vein. You know, that we're not frustrating them. I know, you know, some parents, y'all mean well, I'm just going to say that. But sometimes, you know, the pressure that we put on our children, you got to be a straight A student, or, you know, you have to do this, you have to do that. Well, that's a lot of pressure, you know, on our children. And so some of them, you know, not every child can take that. Some kids gonna take it and they go on. But then you have some kids that rebel. And then you gotta look at, they go left. You gotta look at, okay, well, why did this child go left? And so a lot of times, you know, you sit down, you talk to them, like I said, guidance counselor, educator, author, book author, you know, you meet a lot of people, and they start to share bits and pieces, you know, of their story. Right. And so then you're like, oh, okay, wow, this really affected this child, you know, negatively. And so that's why I was saying, you know, as parents, educators, adults, whoever you are in this child's life, you know, just kind of be mindful of the pressure that you're putting on them. And so that brings us back to, you know, developing your child's self-confidence. And so as they begin to develop it, especially in teenage years, I hear a lot, you know, they go to school, you know, they fine, they come home, you know, they mad or whatever because the body has teased them, you know, shoes and, you know, all that. And so a lot of our kids, they leave home fine, but they come back toe up. And I just say that toe up meaning emotionally. Somebody has messed with them, teased them or whatever. So they're having a difficult time maintaining their self-confidence. And so as parents, as educators, you know, aunties, you know, whatever influence you have on this child's life, just sometimes I think we just have to remember that their load is not my load. Kids are carrying a heavier load than we carried when we were growing up. I grew up in this, basically, born in the late 80s, grew up in the 70s and the 90s. I mean, in the 80s and the 90s, and I look back, you know, we actually had childhoods.
Yeah.
You know, homework wasn't so much of a big deal.
Right.
Leap test wasn't a big deal. You know, you took your standardized test, and that was a wrap. You know, you went on about your business. Well, now kids are faced with, okay, if they fail leap, they fail that grade level. If they don't bring home an A, or they don't bring home, you know, the 3.0, you know, for those who are in high school trying to get a scholarship, you know, there's a lot of pressure, there's a lot of weight on our children. So a lot of things are coming at them that takes away from their self-confidence. So we just got to keep reminding them, hey, you are great, you are important. Yes. You know, your voice does matter in the earth. Yes. You are a gift. Now, whether you know, wherever you fall, just always remember you are a gift to, you know, the human race.
That's
and so
good.
Yeah, so just to keep that in mind, you know, a can-do attitude. Yes. You know, just one takeaway. Just try to instill in your child, and it may not be your child, it may be somebody else's child, neighborhood kid, or whatever. Just always remind them, you can do it. Right. It may be hard now, but it may not be hard tomorrow if you keep at it. And so that's just one of the things that I wanted to stress, you know, building up our kids' self-confidence,
Yes.
you know, that can-do attitude. You can do it.
Yes.
Once again, it may be hard, but you can do it. And we all know the scripture. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me.
That's right.
Now, I know everybody may not be Christian. You know, I get that. I understand that. I respect your belief. But at some time in your life, you're going to hit a storm. And you're going to need something higher than you.
Yeah.
So you got to be very cognizant of what you're putting in and what you're also putting in your children. And you want to put good things in, because if you put good things in, you're going to get the same result out. And so our children, I'm just going to end on this, our children are an investment. So when you look at them, you got to remember, what am I investing in this child? And so on that, I'm going to just pause and pass the mic back.
And the mic coming back to her. Okay. I am so excited with everything that you shared, but we definitely want to make sure we get your logo up here so that they can see the information. And we want you to share also about your tutoring program that you have through SOAR literacy, SOAR for literacy.
And while she's doing that,
Yes.
I heard her say something about the kids when they make a mistake or whatever they can. You can be an adult and you make a mistake. We learn. Those are our stepping stones to learn from our mistakes.
That's right.
And once we learn the lesson, hey, we change some things, we tweak some things,
Right.
and we get back up and we go forward. But now we know what not to do, what not to say,
Right.
so we can go on to the next level. And I really love as well when you were talking about the kids and you told them, you know, the adults, you may run into something at some point and you're going to need some help.
Yeah.
That storm, yes. We all have been there, okay? And yes, at that time, at those moments, you're going to need, you're going to need that, that help.
Yeah.
You're going to need that assistance.
Yeah.
So when you get it, you're able to share it with somebody else.
That's right.
Hey, let me introduce you to, or let me show you, or let's go on over to this other side and see what it is that we need to do. Some things we need to change, right? So, but I love it, but let me hear about SOAR, or I'm ready to hear.
Oh my goodness, my baby. All righty. Hey y'all, by the way, I'm an introvert. So this is God really putting me out.
Me too.
And so, but SOAR is my baby. SOAR actually came about because I was working with students who were below level, and so they needed extra help. So I began to put together some things and just really help them get across their hurdle. And so SOAR is more than just tutoring. I look at it like we give parents the tools that they need for their child to be successful.
Yeah.
So it's more than just me. I'm the face of SOAR, but I also have some colleagues who work with me. So like if parents have questions, for example, I have a teammate, she does the gifted and talented. She can answer questions about that. I also have another colleague, special ed, if you have, you need a consultation, maybe they're looking to put your child in SPED because your child is not reading on level or just not performing at the grade level. And so you just may need to bounce off ideas, with a person who is very fluent in the SPED laws and different things like that. And then I also have another teammate, she's with pre-K. So if you're interested in okay, I want to make sure my child has a very strong foundation, what do I need to do? Then she can help you with that. And so our goal is we really want to start doing more parent workshops. We did one a little bit after COVID, and we kind of want to get back in that vein, just giving parents the tools that they need. And so, and that's the main thing, because we always hear, oh, I don't know that, or I didn't know that, or nobody sat down and told me that. Just like right now, the state of Louisiana, if you have a third grader, if that third grader is not reading on level by the end of the year, they're going to fail by default. Wow. And then they have to go to summer school and fulfill the requirements, and then they'll make a decision whether to pass their child on to fourth grade. So there are a lot of things, that we really want our parents to not just know, but I always say make sure you understand it. Mm-hmm. Because once you understand it, then you can internalize it, and then it's like, okay, this is a plan that we need to put in place so my child is successful. Right. And so that's SOAR, that's what we're all about. Yes. Pushing our kids to SOAR. So remember, SOAR means students overcoming adversities in reading specifically. We don't do math, science, and social studies. We are strictly reading and literacy.
So let
let me ask you a question, Miss Aven. Let's just say I'm a parent coming to school with my child, starting off in pre-K.
Okay.
What is it that you could tell me as a mom with a child in school, just at the very beginning? You know, they used to say Head Start. They don't say Head Start anymore. But basically, it's the head starting point. Okay. What would you say to me as a parent, bringing my child in from pre-K, knowing the journey from pre-K to the result of what you just said for 3rd grade? What is it that I need to put in place and make sure it's happening from pre-K till that time, so that I can make sure that my child is not in that bracket of at risk and having to go to summer school and all of that, to be where they're supposed to be by the time they're in the 3rd grade?
Some of y'all gonna hate me.
Tell
But my parents, they already know my first suggestion: cut the television off. Cut off the electronics. Because on the flip side of that, I know, it's the babysitter, whatever, but we have found that technology, the overdose, I'll say it that way, overdose of technology is now starting to decrease the stamina in our children.
Come on.
And so that's why,
that's
why I started there. Right, cut the television off. They watch TV on the weekend, but Monday through Friday, your child needs to be reading. And for somebody who's just coming into pre-K, the first thing I would say is you need to start off ground level. That's what your alphabet is. Your child has to know their alphabet. And we like the children to know their alphabet automatically. And what that means is they see A, they say A. They say the sounds of A. So A has 2 sounds. A lot of people just focus on one, but A is a vowel. So that child has to know A makes the A sound, long A. A also makes that short sound, ah. So, and then you build from there. So start off with the ABC. I said the ABC line. They know the sounds for that. There are wonderful resources on YouTube. So don't just think, oh, okay, you said no technology. But you can use technology wisely. Right. You can also get a book and go through the books. There are many, wonderful books written to help our children with their letter sounds. And after the child gets the letter and the sounds down, then you need to start moving to what we call CVC words. And your CVC words are consonant, vowel, consonant. And an example of that would be the word dog. Dog. That's a consonant, vowel, consonant word. And once again, there's resources. You can pull down things on the internet. They call those nonsense words. And you get your child fluent in that, because when your child enters into, just to give you an idea why this is so important, even though your child is in pre-K now, but if you get these things into practice, your child will become what we call fluent. Fluent means they read it smoothly, they read it with meaning, they understand it, it's automatic. So just to give you an idea of how important that is, when your child enters 1st grade is my grade, I love 1st grade, but when your child enters 1st grade, they're going to give them a test on those nonsense words. And the part of that test, we call it DIBBLES. The whole purpose of DIBBLES is just to see whether or not your child is ready to read. Right. So children who are ready to read know their letter. They know the letters, they know their sound, they can put together that CVC word, and we like them to get typically 80 words. Some people do 60 words a minute. So, think about it. Oh, that's a lot for somebody that don't know their sounds. But if you know your letter sounds, your child will fly through. Right. They leave 1st grade reading 120 words a minute.
Come on.
But once again, all goes back to
the beginning.
That pre-K, instruction, getting it again in kindergarten and then in 1st grade. And so that's what I would tell a parent, a pre-K parent. Start off with the letters, start off with the sounds, and then you build from there. CVC words. Once you see your child is fluent in CVC words, you can go to what we call sight words. For your pre-K child, your pre-K child, is going to start off with what we call primer words. And the primer words are just that. They're priming them to read. So it's words like the, am, can, do. Just, those simple words. Because remember, the name of the game for lower elementary is that they learn how to read. Now, when they get to 3rd grade, it's going to switch. Your teacher is not teaching you how to read. Now you're going to be reading to learn. So it's very important that our kids in the lower elementary grades, they have to learn how to read. They have to learn how to decode a word. I call it shredding in my class. My kids, you should be able to look at a word and tear that word apart.
Yeah.
Based on those sounds. So like CBC word, if it says dog, you got to be able to tell me dog and then put it back together. We call that encoding. So you encode it, recode, you put it back together. So, the reason why reading is so important in the lower grades is because it primes your child, not only for reading, but also for spelling, because you gotta remember, vocabulary comes into play as well. Right. So, those would be my tips. First with letters, sounds, and then start off with the CBC words. I know that was a lot of stuff.
Look, parents, look, all of my children are adults.
Mine too.
Okay? But I have grandparents, and I don't know about you, but I would have been running to find me a pen and trying to write as quickly as
that's what I'm doing. Take notes.
to take those notes. And please feel free to post any questions that you may have during this broadcast. We'll still be here a few more minutes. Please post any questions that you may have. We'll be able to see them, and Aven and myself and Angella will be able to respond to those questions. But thank you so much for those tips. Those were very, very good tips. And I guarantee you, if following what she just said, your child will not be struggling in third grade. Because the key thing that she said is when your child gets to third grade, they're no longer learning how to read. They're at that point, the learning should have already been achieved, correct?
Yeah, they should have
Because from there, you said they're doing what in the third grade?
They're going to switch. So in the lower grades, you read to learn. You learn how to read, let me say it that way. But when you get to upper elementary, starting in third grade, and there's a big, huge shift. That's why some kids, it's a difficult transition for them. But when you get to third grade, now your teacher is teaching you, you're reading to learn. So like if you look at those passages, a third grade passage is like almost 3 pages.
Wow.
So now your child has to be able to read that passage, right? And then they're able to go through and highlight the key details so they can answer the question. So that's why I was saying it shifts then. So it's that third grade teacher, fourth grade, fifth grade, and my colleagues who watching, y'all know, they can't bring your child back to the kidney bean table and say, okay, let's go over A, B, C, D.
Come on.
She can't do that. She don't have the time in her schedule to do that. Or they don't have the time. They want to, but they can't. So, you try to fit it in, they try to fit it in as much as possible.
Okay, and you did give us the information of how to contact you concerning tutoring with your program?
Okay, the best way to contact me is actually go on Facebook and go to SOAR Literacy Services Facebook page, and you can either send me a message that way, or you can send me an email. And so my email, everything is on my site. Okay,
give us the email for those that's not on Facebook.
Okay, my email address is, hold on. SOAR, I'm going to spell it SOAR, then it's literacy, LITEREACYBR it's going to be at gmail.com.
Okay, awesome. We definitely wanted to make sure that you had that information, because I know everybody may not be on Facebook, and you may want to tell someone that that has a child that may need these services, how to get a hold of Aven for SOAR in literacy. So thank you so much for sharing that, and I'm just so thankful for both of you being here, because once again, I guarantee you that some of the issues with bullying is also tied to the inferior things that students go through concerning literacy and their academic struggles, okay? It does. It really does. You want to say something?
Yes. I was listening. I'm coming to your class. And I want a desk right there in front of the classroom by the teacher. But yes, it definitely, bullying plays a part in the academics for the kids in effects. And if you are a parent or grandparent and those grades are changing drastically, you need to inquire, have a conversation with that child. Reach out. I even had contact with a parent. The child committed suicide from bullying, and they had no idea what was going on. But if they have taken the time to talk, have a conversation, to find out why was the big shift? Why are you drawing back? Why are you being so secluded and not want to be a part of what the family is doing? You're in your room constantly, on TV, on the telephone, or whatever you're doing, or may even just be there with the lights off, sitting in the dark. Talk, have a conversation. Do not ignore it, please. But yes, and also, sis, I have a poem that I was thinking about you.
Okay. Yeah, that's so important what she said. Definitely do not ignore that. If you see that pattern of behavior, you want to reach out. You want to make sure that you're connected to see what's going on.
Absolutely, and I was, as you all know, I'm an author, and I'm always writing, especially when I come in contact with something that I've been pondering on and thinking about. And I was thinking about our session today and bullying. And the name of this poem is Stop. In a world of kindness, we stand tall, where love and respect are felt by all. We come together hand in hand to spread a message across the land. Stop the bullying. Let's make a change. In our hearts, let empathy reign. No more hurtful words, no more pain. We'll create a world where peace remains. Stop the bullying. Let's be a friend. Lift each other up. Let's make amends. With kindness and compassion, we'll make it right. Together we will shine like stars in the night. We'll stand up for others, lend a helping hand, support and protect, take a stand. No one deserves to be treated unkind. Inclusion and acceptance we'll always find. Stop the bullying, let's be a friend. Lift each other up, let's make amends. With kindness and compassion, we'll make it right. Together we will shine like stars in the night. We'll spread love like confetti all around, creating a world where bullying cannot be found. We'll celebrate differences, express them, embrace them all. For unity, we will stand tall. Stop the bullying, let's be a friend. Lift each other up, let's make amends. With kindness and compassion, we'll make it right. Together we'll shine like stars in the night. So let's join hands, let's make a vow to stop the bullying starting right now. With love and understanding, we'll make a change in this world where kindness will always reign. Stop the bullying, let's be a friend. Lift each other up and let's make amends. With kindness and compassion, we'll make that right. Together we'll shine like stars in the night.
Oh, come on. I love that. Thank you for sharing that with us. I tell you, together we'll shine like stars in the night. There is nothing like unity. Just with us sharing here today, I don't believe that we would have been able to convey as effectively without all three of us here to share today. And I'm excited and just so thankful to be a part of this. And I'm just really happy and honored to have been able to provide the hosting for this. I want to encourage you as well, parents, concerning, and thank you again for sharing that beautiful poem.
Absolutely.
Don't wait till the last quarter.
Yes.
I've been a para in the school system for 17 years. I was a para in the school system for 17 years. And the thing that really troubled me was seeing babies struggling throughout the school year, because this is a hand-in-hand thing. That's why we're here talking to you as parents. It takes the togetherness, like the stars in the night, like she just said. It takes the hand-in-hand of working from home with parents, grandparents, godparents, with the teacher.
Yes.
It takes working together. And if there's no communication,
and you wait until the end, and that was the part that was so sad. I would see students struggling, and we would do our very best, but there wasn't the engaging and connection from home. And then during the last quarter, some of the parents would show up to come and see, what can I do? And I would feel for the parents too, because I know a lot of you are working, some of you are single moms like I was as well, you know, but when you wait till that last quarter, it's like really impossible to turn it around. So don't wait. If you know even today that your child is challenged, please reach out to Aven. Please reach out to someone, and because there's a lot of resources and a lot of help for you there. I want to share just a brief statistic from reportcard.com. And it really just broke my heart when I read it, because it shared the statistics, especially of young boys and young boys of color. By the time they reach the 8th grade, only 15% of them are able to read on their level of sufficiency.
Wow. Yeah.
Only 15%. And then it says that as they continue to go through the system, by the time they reach the 12th grade, 17%. And I'm like, this is where we start from the very beginning, like she said, so that we can assist with making sure that number changes. Changing the narrative is what we are really believing God for our babies, because they are valuable. They are important. And your baby may not be that A+ student, but it doesn't mean that that baby still cannot achieve. Some babies, like you said, we were talking the other day, some babies are very good with their hands and they have other skills. They may not be an A student, but it still doesn't mean that they're not achievers and not successful. So I just want to encourage you, let's do what we can at the very beginning. And it's not too late, right, Aven? What would you? You still got some time. What would you say? And I know this is probably higher than the level that you're working with, but you probably could give us some feedback on it. What would you say for a parent that has a child that's past the elementary stage to have these building blocks? Are there some resources that can be recommended for them in terms of helping to, because there's always hope, right? As long as the parent desires to help that child, even though they've missed these things that you said, but if you really want it, you can achieve it. What would you recommend for those that have passed this stage to, maybe be able to get over the hurdles to get there?
Well, I would recommend, first of all, if your child is really struggling with reading, look to see what rap songs they're listening to. And the reason why I say that is because most of them know every rap song that's out there.
Right.
So, and I always say, if you can rap, guess what? You can read.
You can read.
So it may be something as simple as finding the type of music that your child likes and finding books that kind of fit that vein. And what I mean by that, like, for example, because you have to get to where your child is reading daily. It's the daily reading that gives you the bang for your buck, so to speak. So for a child that's struggling, like let's say middle school, I just take for example, we'll go back to the 8th grade. So you got an 8th grader who may be reading like on a 3rd grade level. So 3rd grade typically, those are chapter books. And so what I would start with chapter books. I would find out what my child is interested in, and I would go to the library. A lot of times you don't have to use your money. You can go to the library. The other, barbershops now are giving away books for a haircut. And so find whatever works for you and your budget and start there, chapter books. Read the chapter books. Child gets fluent, find something that they're interested in, and just push. And then you need to come behind, with your child reading. Now your child needs to also write, because you got to keep in mind, middle school, they're writing. And they're not writing a paragraph. They're writing essays. So writing and reading and writing, they go hand in hand. They build on top of each other. And so chances are if they're struggling with reading, they're going to be struggling in writing. So anyway, I'll definitely start there. Maybe even videos on YouTube now, a lot. And I'm just gonna put this out there. I know, some people may get mad or whatever, but your biggest hurdle for somebody that's in middle school that doesn't know how to read is gonna be their pride. And so that child is not gonna wanna face reality that, hey, I don't know how to read. They're gonna try to cover, they're gonna try to hide, they're gonna try to cheat off their classmate. So you're gonna have to sit down and do a real heart-to-heart talk with your child and say, hey, look, I know where you're at. You may have to bring your child ELA or English teacher, on board and see, like at SOAR, we can give you a reading assessment to see exactly where your child is falling as far as reading level. You need to know that because even though, quote, the system, may say, oh, your child's reading on 3rd grade level. But then when they go sit down for a reading test, they can't read anything. So it may be a little bit lower than your child reading actually on a 3rd grade level. They may be reading on a 1st grade level. But they know certain words and certain things, so that's why they may have scored, 3rd grade or whatever. And then the main thing, just be consistent. Yeah. Whatever you do, that chapter book, they need to read the chapter book every day. If it's 10, 15 minutes, whatever it is, set the timer. They need to be consistently reading it because when the child reads consistently, they do better. We have all the data, you can research it, it all goes hand in hand. It's the consistent everyday reading that really strengthens the child. And the reason being is because the child has to decode. They're going to come across words they don't know, so it's going to force that child to go back to those letter sounds that I talked about earlier, and they're going to put that into practice. After a while, it becomes automatic. The child don't have to think about the sounds. They know, okay, I see this, and they're able to read, and they can keep going. And then comprehension takes place. Right now, that middle schooler, chances are he's failing his comprehension test. So really just strengthen reading, I would say chapter book. If your child is lower, then you're going to have to go back to the letter and the sound. Everything starts at the letter and the sound level. Yes. And so they get fluent with that, and then you continue to build. But if you have any questions, you can reach out, just send us a message. You can go through Blossoming Word, and Miss Sonia, she'll give it to me, whatever works for you. And let's get your child, like I said, it's not too late, but, your window is closing. I'll just say it like that.
So what I'm hearing is if you can get your child past the intimidation of acknowledging that they need, that they're at that level, then there's hope.
Yeah.
And nobody knows your child like you know your child. So there's ways that you know how to be able to reach out to your child and get them to open up and be comfortable to say, yes, I am struggling. Because there is still hope from that point of improvement.
Yeah,
but even us as adults,
yes.
We have that same issue in some things. Confessing that I have a problem in this area. I have an issue with this, and we don't want nobody to know. I call it the shame, the shame syndrome.
Yeah.
Being shame about it because you don't want anybody to know. But if nobody knows, and I'm writing a book, the toughest battle to fight is the one that nobody knows about. So if nobody knows about it, then how can we address it?
Right.
How can we get it fixed?
Exactly.
I'm coming to your class.
Yes. Well, you all, I am so thankful that we had this time. Thank you to everyone that joined in with us today. I want to say thank you to Angella Wynn with Books to Win, being here with us today and Fix My Smile. Yes, absolutely. I want to say thank you to you, Miss Harris, for your SOAR in literacy. We thank you so much, Aven Harris, for that. And all of what you shared as well for our parents. I'm telling you, if I were you, I would have had my notepad and write it down. But the awesome thing about this is this post is not going anywhere.
Right.
So you'll be able to come back and review it again and take notes and definitely pass it on to someone else that that will need this information to assist with their child or their grandchildren. Once again, this is Blossoming Word. I'm Miss Magnolia. Thank you for coming and just sharing with us today. I'm going to get Aven to get our music back up for us. And you can put the Blossoming Word. And we're going to go ahead and go out with a shout and I'm just thankful. Once again, don't forget, post any questions that you may have, any concerns that you may have. any thoughts that you may have into the comments. We will be reviewing those, and we will get back with you. If you're having a question that we need to address, we'll be getting back with you. Thanks again for joining us, and have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.